All right. I'm Jesse Ray with the Growth House Podcast. We are here at Billy V's Palace. Shout out Billy V. I'm here with one of my best friends here in Arizona, David Carpenter. Appreciate you being here, bro.
Let's go. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we have done 2 podcasts already, but if you go back and watch, it's more like a conversation that we're just having. Our conversations get deep, talk about faith, talk about our old lifestyle, our new lifestyle, people who we surround ourselves with, how big of an impact that is. David, I know we've given an intro before. Do you kind of just want to fill us in on where you're at right now, and then we'll take a step back?
Well, above all, I'm a man of God, right? But I guess like in business, I'm a partner with AO, who's a $100 million agency, one of the most successful agencies in the industry or the history of the insurance world. And I'm blessed to be surrounded with great mentors and great teams. I run a multi-million-dollar insurance business that I get to operate, through Wi-Fi and
Wi-Fi money.
And I'm blessed to be surrounded with great people and keep elevating people around me. That's what I'm very passionate about.
Love it. Building the dream team.
Yeah.
So this is about a year since we sat down.
Yeah.
At a Growth House Mastermind last year. And what's changed? It's been a full 12 months. You moved to Miami.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that? Actually, start there.
Yeah, I love it. I love Arizona. I needed to get away. I'm born and raised here, so just like you moved away, it grew you so much. I needed to do the same. Like I had to experience that. So just mostly growth and to get around like-minded people. Miami is like a hub of entrepreneurs, people that are striving, looking to grow. And I wanted to have separation where I've just emerged in just pure, like knowing nobody in an immersion of just growth, right? That's your whole motto. And I wanted to push myself with, okay, it's easy to connect because people already know me here, but how are my networking skills there? Like my communication had to improve, my networking, my intentions, right? So it's amazing, who I've been able to network with and the relationships that I've been able to create there just based on who I am now and based on like where I'm going. And really happy with the move. Love being by the beach, love being by the water. My sister's moving out there at the end of December.
Then you're taking the whole family with you.
Yeah. Hopefully and I'm trying to convince my mom too.
That's amazing.
But I love AZ. It just needed to happen for me.
So let's talk about that because I think people are I think the biggest fear is change, and it's a constant thing. It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
How did you network and make that transition and get connected with the right people out there in Miami?
This is the gem. Write this down. So I asked some of the most influential people that I knew, who did I need to know out there? So your networks are your net worth. People say it, but I'm very big on not just, okay, what do they have? What do they have to offer? But who are they? How do they live? What's their lifestyle? What's their habits like? What's their mindset like? What's their faith like? How do they treat their wife? How do they treat people? So all those have to be in alignment. And I only asked the people that were like that because birds of a feather flock together. And I knew the quality of my life was going to be based on who I surround myself with and who I choose to download. Whoever has your ear has your future. And I asked like people like Steven Weatherford, who's an ex-NFL player, man of God, crushing it. And he linked me up with this guy named Justin Roth, who's my running partner in the mornings. He's also a big keynote speaker, did like 88 stages this year.
Wow.
Crushing it in his health and wellness business. And then I got involved with some of the athletes out there, some people that are, crushing it in athletics and in sports. And I keep my circle really small compared to like how I was in Arizona because it's just time to elevate and time to step up.
You want to talk about your time in Arizona?
Yeah, let's go.
What was going on? So November 2022.
Okay.
What was David doing? What was David like? And what's been the growth since then?
Wow. David in 2022 was focused.
Hold up. And this man was already successful.
Yeah.
You look at him, you're like, he's crushing it. He bought his mom a house. You bought your dad a car. You've done all these things financially in business.
Yeah.
But you were also I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I felt like you were also lacking in certain areas of your life.
100%.
So kind of painting that picture and now go on.
Yeah. I mean, I was lacking God, and I was lacking vision. Back in 2022, November, I was coming off a year where I made probably 1.6 million the year before that, and immediately just took my foot off the pedal in terms of wanting to grow. I felt like I made it in compared to a lot of people around, and obviously that's good money, and yeah, I enjoy life, but I was overindulging on bad habits and lack of discipline and lack of vision and lack of wanting to improve. And it led me, I got out of an engagement, which was a big reason to kind of get into more of a party scene. And I was filling voids of the things of the world, like alcohol, drugs, hanging out with, people that are really just in this place of probably trying to do the same thing, fill voids and just enjoy and kind of forget about the reality. And had a full year like that. Had a $2 million home, was making anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 a month. And, I was just kind of really content and comfortable and not really living right. But I'm telling you what, that was the most miserable year of my life. It was so dark and empty. And although I had everything and everybody around me, and I felt like, yeah, okay, at times like I was a man, but it was like had no real connections. It's a lot of people when you're there, you're just getting used, and it's just like a natural thing. And then I realized I was missing my relationship with my Heavenly Father. I was missing the disciplines and the lifestyle that actually got me to where I was successful. And I noticed that it was a progression in those habits that even made me happy. My time with God in the morning, my taking care of my health, not staying up late, not doing drugs, not drinking. All that stuff really brought me into like where I was originally. That's why God blessed me. But also that was like my purest state where I was like truly, truly happy and content with not what I was getting or who I was around, but really I was more content and happy with who I was. And I got away from that. And thank God I'm back better than ever now.
You're back, baby. So I feel like some people would say they have to go through it because I think the general public, you were living the lifestyle that 90% of men are like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be like. Get the bottles, get the clubs, have all the girls around me, successful business financially. Yeah. Do you think someone actually has to go through it? Or do you think they can see it and learn from someone else and say, that's not going to make me happy?
Well, there's two ways to learn. It's either through your mistakes or through someone else's. And it's a lot easier to go learn through someone else's. I could tell you from a full experience, when you're out of focus and you're overindulging. Now, we're not saying, hey, go out and like not ever have a drink or never have go celebrate. We're not saying that, but overindulging where your health and your habits start to slip and you notice yourself having to party and to get validation from, the world and you start to like get in this place where this is your new normal. That's where it's a very toxic place because your health starts to go. You're not going to live very long. If you're drinking every weekend and you're doing drugs, like it's going to take you to a dark place. So yeah, that's kind of like what I would say there.
So you moved to Miami, you get connected with Justin. How do you get connected with Justin?
Got through Stephen Weatherford.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mutual friend connected you guys. Justin seems to have a huge impact on your life with diet stuff. Yeah. I saw him you guys were testing blood samples.
Yeah.
Walk me through the impact he's had and what you guys have set up for the game plan and why you look so good, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Shout out to Justin. First of all, it started with his men's group, and this was back in July. And this was a really, I was already this pretty much this whole year was, really limited the drinking and the partying and things like that. But since July, it's been really, really cut. He had this event, and it's a Christian men's entrepreneur group that he has. It's called the Redeemed Men. And I got recentered around the things that really matter. And I was around men that were taking care of their families and stewarding their wealth. not trying to flash things, not buying liabilities, not blowing money on tables. These men were stewarding their wealth, taking care of their family, and they were truly happy, and they were looking to grow and do better. And not only were they making millions, but they had millions in assets and savings and like completely wealthy, right? Mm-hmm. But it was more so the quality of life and the happiness and the pure joy that I was like, wow, I was in shock. And God was the center of it. And I realized that in that event, my identity was of, okay, having to prove myself to everybody because I didn't come from anything. I realized in that event that I didn't need these external things to feel good. And actually they don't. And like being around certain people doesn't make me feel very good. That I just want to be around genuine people that are working on themselves and really trying to steward their body, their health, and their wealth right. So that event was a catalyst to my growth, and I do credit him, and it was really God that used the people to influence my life, and I saw that it was possible. So that's when I went to started getting to work on myself, not going out, not drinking completely. I haven't drank in like 90 days. And before that, it was like one night where I had some drinks in Mykonos in Greece.
How you feel?
Feel incredible. Best I've ever felt. And it is who you hang out with, bro. It's whoever you hang out with is your biggest influence. Whether you like it or not, your future will be where the advice that they're taking and giving you. And if their habits and lifestyle and their character and who they are is not what you're trying to become and operate, you can't let them have your ear because they have your future. So I'm so thankful that I got to meet people that are, and this doesn't make them better than anybody, but they're on the right path. They're doing the things that I want to do. And for myself, I had to make those necessary changes in my environment. I don't hang out with people that I feel are going to take me down, or if I feel really weird in a circumstance, like in a situation where I know I shouldn't be there, I just go rather than ignoring those things, right? And I think being sober-minded has a lot to do with that because my awareness, my spirit's strong enough to be able to discern right from wrong, in my opinion.
Talking about the growth house motto right there. You become who you surround yourself with.
Yes, sir.
It's so true. And it shows up in all aspects of life. Like, let's say you're just starting out. You're just trying to get on the grind. You're going to have all your family probably look at you crazy. Like, We're not normal. No. We have an extra ambition, and we actually have those childlike dreams, and we're staying to them. We're still chasing those dreams and want more for our life. And so whether you're just starting out, you become who you surround yourself with, or you already, are successful and you want to keep striving to the next level.
Absolutely.
Same quote applies to your life. I want to dive into a day in the life because you're 3 hours ahead, but still, every single day I'm waking up, I'm like, David's already at the gym. David's already posted, wake the sun up. So if you want some extra motivation every single day, be sure to follow him. But
thank you,
what time do you get up? What does that day in the life look like for David Carpenter right now?
Love it. So wake the sun up to me is like getting in a place where you're getting after it, right? You're going to bed, and I'm rested. It's not like I'm staying up late and I'm waking up early because I don't believe in that. I believe in really like giving your body what it needs. But I'm waking up about 5:30, and then I'm immediately going into worship, gratitude, like spending time with God. I'm getting into my word, so I'm reading the Bible, and I'm meditating on certain words that really speak out to my spirit. Really, that really resonate to me. So I'll meditate on those and I'll like think on those throughout the day. And from there, I go to my goals. I have my goals written out, present tense. I speak them, focus on them. That's my vision. That's what carries me through the day because I know that God's using me to create those and to be able to help his kingdom and be able to expand my influences for God. So from there, I go to the gym. I'll usually listen to a little podcast on the way there, podcast during the gym. I don't listen to any hip-hop, rap. I don't listen to any music, basically, unless I'm going out and doing something. I'm always, again, controlling what goes into my mind and my ears. So I'll train with Justin usually. We're starting to work out right around like 6:45 to 7 a.m., get done about 8:15, and then I'm going home. I'm like looking at my schedule, kind of reviewing. I usually start my meetings about 10 a.m. I go from 10 to 8, and I have a hard cutoff at 8. That's where I wind down. I really am strict on that. I wind down. I enjoy myself. Like, I'll eat before 8, 3 hours before I actually go to sleep, and my energy's like just been through the roof. Focus levels, everything.
That's amazing. So we already talked about what you've accomplished. What keeps you going? What does 5 years from now look like, or even 2 years?
Yeah.
Like, you've done a lot of things that people dream of doing. You bought your mom a house, dude.
Glory to God.
Bought your dad a car. You've provided for your family. You buy amazing gifts for a lot of your business partners. Like, why keep going?
Because I know that, so this is what I truly believe. Like, the Bible says that we're called, chosen, predestined, that you had a destiny before you came to the earth. Now, the decisions that you make determine whether you actually fulfill that. It says many are called, but only few are chosen. So for you to be a chosen one, you got to understand that that's where your decisions, your habits, and you choosing the right plans, even though you have your giftings, your calling in you, it's only determined whether you fulfill that or not by your decisions. So I have this vision, you have this vision, we all have visions in our head that God's planted. That's the ending of how it could look, but the middle is based on your decisions and the problems that you can handle, and your problem solving leads you to a new level, a new version of you. And it's your duty, if you're trying to pursue and create that vision, whatever that's in your heart, whether you're going to continue to do that or not. And understand, you're going to have a lot of distractions. Look, the Bible also says the righteous man falls down 7 times and the wicked will fall down and stumble. Meaning you're going to have obstacles, you're going to fall down, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be like some of you guys can relate to me, having a year where you're just completely unfocused, got out of a bad relationship, was heartbroken, and completely feel like I wasted that year. But the year's not wasted, because now I can speak into someone's life that was longing for acceptance in the wrong areas that you'll never feel fulfillment in, defining my relationship with God, to strengthening my spirit, to getting so focused on the things that matter, like relationships, my family, being around people that I want to be around. So to answer your question, it's to make money, steward the money, multiply the money, buy a ton of assets, get myself completely financially independent and free within the next 5 years, and travel the world, speak on stages, do like the 10X growth cons and stuff like that. But most of all, like, expand the kingdom of God, like to share, about what, Jesus has done for me, and also to give back and to help people that are in need. I have this vision of, like, on Christmas going into single moms' homes and being like, hey, I'm going to pay your rent or pay your mortgage for this entire year. Here's all the money for groceries, whatever your kids want for Christmas. Like, I want to be able to do those things. And in order for me to do those things, I have to excel. And I'm going to use my influence, not for me or for what, hey, look at me, but I'm going to use my influence for the call of God that he has in my life.
Love that. So let's talk about that, because you just mentioned, like, getting assets. And I think early on,
yep.
My boy, how old were you when you had a Bentley?
I was 24.
24 years old. Had a Bentley.
Bentley and X5.
X5.
Together.
What was your thought process then? And looking back, what's your thought process looking at that decision now?
So stupid. So dumb. The thought process was, okay, now, like, hey, when I get the Bentley, that's how I made it. I was not taught financial literacy. What's an asset? What's a liability? What's actually costing you money, and how do you actually build wealth? And this is like, I love this parable when it comes to the Bible. It talks about stewardship, and it's the talents. Talents are actually millions of dollars. I don't know if you know that or not. So the master is given his servants talents. He gave one, he gave 1, 2, and 1, 5. The one that doubled it, the one that stewarded it right, he took what he was given and he multiplied it. He turned it to 10. He's like, good and faithful servant. Because you were faithful over this, I'm going to make you ruler over many, right? I'm going to give you more. So he was actually like, well done. That's the way God, I'm going to get into the story more, but that's the one with 2. He doubled it. He multiplied it. God said, good and faithful servant. Great job. And 1, he gave the one that he gave 1 to, he hid it. He buried it and did nothing with it. And then when he came back, because God's going to look at what you're doing with your fruit and with what he gave you. Are you multiplying, right? He came there and he's like, what are you doing? And basically, long story short, right, I'm kind of like, I'm not right on script on this, okay? But he basically cast him out. He was like, get out of my sight. He was not pleased with him, and he was actually angry. And he took the 1 back from him, and he gave it to the one with 10. And if you see, like, that was thousands of years ago that story was made. And Jesus spoke that parable. And those principles still are here today. That you have wealth, I have wealth. Now, the little that we have, if you steward it right, and you look to multiply it, and you don't try to buy liabilities first, and you don't try to please everybody, and woe is, look at me, right? All the opposite stuff that I was doing, he's pleased with that. So you got to understand, you're renting your body, you're renting your wealth, you're renting your life, your calling, your purpose. You're here for a reason. And if you operate in that alignment, like, you're going to be ultra blessed. The wealthiest people in the world are the most frugal.
But what I want to ask you is, we're talking about assets, we're talking about financial stuff and being good stewards. I remember when we were talking, this is probably only a year ago, I don't think you had like a financial coach.
Yeah, no.
What made you want to get a coach? What's the importance of a coach, and what kind of impact has that coach had on your business, I guess more financially for you?
Yeah. That's a great word right there. Like, I have multiple coaches, so I do not have one that knows everything about everything, and it's really hard. I've never personally met anybody that is great at everything. Usually the ones that are great at, they're really great at some things, and then they have help from someone that's really great at other things. And it's like having that team that helps you. So the financial coach, I have a mentor, obviously. I have a health coach. Like, I believe in coaches, people that are better, that can teach me their wisdom, so I don't have to figure things out on my own, so I can accelerate faster. But the financial coach just helped me with accountability. And this is what I needed, because I would be, and a lot of it would be when I was drinking. I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, I made X, Y, and Z this week. Like, screw it. Let's go.
Let's talk about it, man. You're such a generous person. Give him a little alcohol, and now he's extra generous. Which actually is a great thing if you think about it.
Outside of the alcohol, yeah.
Absolutely, because what is money? It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It amplifies your true character.
Correct.
And that's what you were doing, but just not in the right setting.
Yeah. So I apologize if you've been, gotten some alcohol from me. That's not what I want to, spread. But I want to do the same thing with money and finances, but I want to like feed people. I want to feed people with wisdom and knowledge, but also I want to change people's lives through by, financially blessing them eventually, talking about the things that I was talking about. Like, I want to build churches. I want to help ministries and like change lives, millions of lives, like before I'm said and done. Money, again, is like you said, it's a tool. But this financial coach, he builds, his name's Phil. He helps build a profit loss statement at the end of the month. And being an entrepreneur and running an insurance business or a business in general, you have your gross and then you have your net, right? So, sometimes you see like the gross, and you're thinking you got like X, Y, and Z coming in. And after the net, you got to be aware of that. And then if you're just like going out, whatever, because you make great money every week, you could be blowing a lot of it. And I was blowing a lot of it, and I needed the accountability, because have you ever asked yourself like, wow, where did it all go? That's what I was asking myself. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I just made this much and I only have this much. And it was because I was making poor decisions, whenever I wanted, I would buy. Now, so he helps hold me accountable per purchase. And we look at how my net worth is growing, which is the money in your account, the assets that you have minus your liabilities. So it's nice when you get to see your net worth grow month after month after month, and have that type of accountability.
Yeah. Almost becomes like a game, where this is what I've learned from my coaches as well, where it's a lot more fun when you have a goal and you see that net worth climb instead of just like thinking of it as a budget. Like, oh, I gotta stick to this budget. I don't know. Budgets don't seem fun, but if you incorporate, like you said, a net worth goal, I think that's where you can kind of gamify saving. Because no one at the end of the day is like, dude, I'm super excited to save. But if you have a house that you're trying to buy, if you have these goals of building orphanages and you know how much they cost, and then you're shooting for those, saving for those specific things, that's, I think, when it actually gets fun.
I agree completely.
So I'm just curious, what's the worst financial decision you think you've made?
Oh, man, that's tough. I would say obviously the cars.
Yeah.
Cars depreciate so much. Every single car I've had, it's like, after a year, 2 years of having it, you lose. And I would have a new car every single year. Now, obviously when you make a lot, you're like, hey, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not a good way to think because it all matters. If you're stewarding someone else's money, I feel like I'm stewarding God's money, right? That's how I run my life. So any money, like, that you're, in my opinion, wasting, like, for me, I didn't need the cars. I thought I needed the cars, and again, it was just like external validation that I wasn't even good for me. I'm not saying that for everybody, but you got to check your heart posture of why I need to get what I'm getting. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And for me, it was an unhealthy relationship with money. Even though I made a lot, it was like, okay, why am I needing to do this? And if I need to do this for the wrong reason, that's not a good reason. And I've actually found more pleasure in myself and more self-love by denying myself buying X, Y, and Z things. Like now that I'm a partner, I have a bigger spread on my contract, right? I could go do more. And I live below my means, not because I want to, nothing other than the fact that I want to be a great steward so I can have the impact that God has called me to have. And I'm telling you, nothing feels better than stacking money, watching, wow, like I used to blow this on this and I see the margins growing and actually having enough money to be able to take care of the people you love and care about the most. No better feeling.
No better feeling. There's a quote, hopefully I get this right. People that say money don't buy happiness haven't given enough away. I feel like that's kind of what you just talked about.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that at all?
Yeah.
You have examples in your life. What did it feel like to literally pay off your mom's, I think it was a mortgage, right?
Yeah. It was her debts and not her mortgage.
Okay.
That's coming though.
There you go.
And by the way, my mom works for me now. So retired her from her job. She works with me and she has time whenever she needs it to like spend with her granddaughter or grandson. And she works remote, loves it. That was by God's grace. So amazing feeling. But that goal drove me because my goals, like if they're not about me, it actually has more power behind it. Like I swear God blesses that more. If your goals are selfish reasons of, oh, now I'm going to have the baddest chick. Now I'm going to have this so people could think I'm like doing really well. Like, I don't think God's going to really bless that. Like if he does give that to you, like, is it making the world better? You really are you influencing people the way you should? Anyways, I'm not trying to judge because, that's not me, but these are just questions to ask yourself, right? But in that moment, man, like taking that money out of the account, getting the cashier's check, like telling Marcus I'm going to do this in the day, it was just like one of the most like amazing feelings because it was like all of this hard work and all this pain and all these problems that I faced and had to overcome to get to this moment was all worth it. And to see like my mom bust out in tears and like just to be able to be used by God to bless her because she deserves it. It felt just like amazing, bro. And it was because of those right decisions and the disciplines and the right habits that God was able to use me. And I feel like anybody can do that really, truly, if they are consistent long enough and that they are around the right people and they're humble enough to be coached and learning the right information and being intentional with what they're doing on their day-to-day basis. Anyone can really do that. But yeah, just seeing her at peace and happy, like that was you can't buy that. You can't. There's nothing that you can acquire. Like having that big house, like dude, none of that even came close to watching the reaction and being there for it.
I feel like we were just talking about that off camera. It's like you hit a goal, you get a nice house, you get a new car. That only lasts so long. That high that you get from that.
Yeah.
And then it's now what? Either in the next goal, and you keep just chasing these goals, and they're going to keep leaving you after a couple weeks unsatisfied. But I feel like you then actually share those with other people. For me, taking vacation solo, it only lasts so long. Like, I can have fun, be hungover, and tan for so long. And then I'm like, all right, I actually want other people to enjoy this experience with me.
Exactly.
Have you felt that? I know you bought a $2 million house out here in Scottsdale, and you're like, this is dope. But how long did that feeling last? And then what ended up kind of mindset change did you have after that?
Yeah, I just felt like I didn't need it. I was like, dude, I'm in this house. You know, obviously when me and Jen broke up, and it's just me in this big house, bro. 5,000 square foot, 5-bedroom, office, huge backyard. I'm sitting here on this huge couch I spent way too much money on. I was like looking up and stuff, looking around. I'm like, what's the heck? Like, what's even the point of this? Like, I'd be like, I'm straight with like a little like 2-3 bedroom place, like half the size, and be like probably more comfortable in it, to be honest. And it was cool because of the reactions, like you said, like when people come over and look at it, and, you know, you feel a little validation. You're like, oh, I must be doing something right. But I don't know. Unless I have kids, bro, I'm not going to have a house like that. And honestly, you know, this next year is going to be just buying assets and putting money away. I'm not even looking to buy another place like that, because it is just such a waste of money too. And I don't need it. I'm looking at things like, how do I multiply now? So it was a great time, great period. I could say, hey, I've done it. And I'm going to have multi-million-dollar homes, don't get me wrong, but it's going to come later, and I don't want it right now. And I'm going to do a lot of other bigger, better things for the world and my people and my family before that time comes. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but for me, I didn't need it. I think it would be better if I had a full family and I did it for them. I think maybe there would be more fulfillment there.
Absolutely. I do got to ask, because you're on topic of kids. I think you have a 4-legged son or daughter right now. Teddy?
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah, Teddy. Love him. He's I really have Carla just taking care of him because I'm so freaking busy. So
what kind of dog?
It's a mini golden doodle.
Oh, those are the best.
So cute, so smart, bro. And it's nice because
no shedding.
No shedding. He's potty trained already. 10 weeks.
Wow.
11 weeks. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Super smart dog.
That's awesome. I love dogs. I just had to bring that in there.
Yeah.
But I want people to realize the dreams and the vision that you have for yourself, David. And I want you to kind of go into detail, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I feel like people are scared to put it out there. I feel like people hold back, and they think they're going to get judged. And probably in the comment section, they're going to judge you on your dreams. Like, like he's going to do that. Like, we just had a podcast. One of my friends, Adam, said, like, I'm going to have a $50 billion startup company. And in the comments, we're just like flooded with, no, you're not, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just people hating. What does it look like for you? What do you want your future to look like?
Yeah.
I know we talked about private planes before.
Yeah, honestly, all that stuff would be great. Bro, like, when I look at my future, I'm going to have a house on the beach. Like, I want that for sure. But that doesn't, like, really drive me. You know, it'd be nice to have a private plane. I don't really think I need it anymore. Honestly, just the beautiful family relationships. I'm going to travel the world and be able to do, like, what I want. But, again, it's, like, the fulfilling stuff. I'm going to be able to do that. And that's just for me personally. If we're talking, like, all that. One thing I do want to do is I'm going to be a speaker and pour in and be real and raw. I think the world needs that, like, genuine, authentic. Like, people can judge you, whatever, like, judge me. You have nothing better to do. Go ahead. But really, like, it's for that one person that's listening to this that went through the same thing, that's finding validations in the wrong things, or, like, you know, could take something away and make their life better. Like, that's who this is for anyways. But the vision is to be a great steward, to expand the kingdom. I want to have $1 billion insurance business, and I want to use outside of business, I want to use my speaking ability to be on stages, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, you know, millions, whatever, and to use my voice and the giftings for the glory of God. So I see kind of a future kind of like Tim Tebow, where I have foundations, coming in a place of humility, and, you know, treating my wife really well, treating people really well, and just being a great example. And, like, just for me, that would be the picture of, you know, I'm happy right now, but that's, like, a cool thing, because been able to do great things for the world, and the example helps people instead of this example of it's only one benefiting, and that's myself, right? So that's kind of the vision.
I love that. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about your team.
Yeah.
I know how people reach out to me, reach out to you. They want to join your team. What do you look for, and how can you tell in the first maybe couple interactions or even a phone call if this person is going to take it serious and has, you know, is actually going to follow through and be successful? Because I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that you worry about. Like, is this person actually going to say what they say they're going to do?
And I'm very transparent on these calls. Like, before I'd shy away, I'm like, man, it's going to be hard. It's definitely could be for anybody, but not everybody is going to make it, because it takes a lot. It's a hard work. You got to go through rejection. You got to learn you got to learn sales. You got to learn people. You got to learn how to be confident in situations that maybe someone's trying to take you off guard. Like, there's a lot of factors in it, but it's so worth it. And what I look for is someone that's humble. That's probably number one. How's their heart? How's their character? I can use that. That's number one. What's their desire level? Like, what's really going to drive them? What's their why? Like, are they really hungry, or are they just trying to make some extra money? I want to look at their attitude. How do they handle challenges and problems, right? And why, you know, the last one I would say is, what's their routine of growth? How are they working on themselves? How are they looking to improve? I think all those factors I can kind of figure out and kind of like little pinpoint on surface level things and see, okay, I can already see whether someone's going to be willing to do what it takes over time consistently to be successful.
Is there like 2 character traits that you're like, I'm looking for in a person?
Yeah, they got to have a huge desire. That's a characteristic. Like, are they willing, do they love that person or that so much more than themselves to be willing to do that, right? Because if you're just focused on yourself and trying to make money, right, and it's all about you, you're not going to be willing to do what it takes to become successful, because the sign of, like, you hurting or being vulnerable or doing things that make you uncomfortable, if the world's all about you, you're not going to make it in sales or in business, period. I need someone that's, like, has a servant mentality, servant heart, willing to do whatever it takes. And I would say someone that is coachable. That's it. The Bible says, like, the humble will be exalted, and wise counsel, right, is wise, right? Wise counsel. What are they doing with that? Like, you really know by the questions that someone asks. Like, if someone's with someone that's super successful and all they're doing is talking about themselves, that's a red flag. They're with someone that's very successful and they're humble and they're trying to really get their lives improved, that's a great sign.
That why has got to be bigger than yourself. I think that's something that we've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Let's talk real quickly just about sales. What are some things that you think people misconception of sales?
Yeah.
I think a big one maybe is, like, I feel like people think of sales like, oh, sleazy salesperson. What's your thoughts about that?
I mean, yeah, there are sleazy salespeople out there. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's the person. It's not the industry. It's, like, really the heart of the person, just like anything. What's the intentions? What's the heart of the person that's delivering the process? Like, you already know that it's either going to be manipulation. There's people that come into relationships and manipulate into use, and there's some people that genuinely come into a relationship because they're trying to add value, because they love that person. They love people in general. So I think as the buyer, you have to be able to discern that. And it's pretty obvious, honestly, if you can just sit there and listen to the questions that they're asking you. And if you have a gut feeling not to buy from someone, don't buy from them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's pretty obvious. Yeah. Because that's probably not something you should do. But there's also great salespeople that make amazing money, and they just actually do it based on service and giving a great product and really helping find the need and solving it, and they do amazing for the people. And they deserve everything they have.
Yeah. Talk to me real quick about fear of rejection. I feel like a lot of people getting into this space, or a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs, salespeople, they're scared of rejection. How did you get over that, and then how do you teach other people to get over that?
I think it's focusing on serving. Like, the second you stop thinking about yourself, that's what you got to get over. You got to get over yourself. Like, just understand you're really, like, it doesn't matter about you. Like, if you get to the point where it doesn't matter about you and you just want to help and serve and you focus on them, like, who freaking cares? If you give your best and you're honestly trying to help that person, you could take things away and learn and get and grow from it. But just, that's it. Who freaking cares? Like, you don't need to be perfect to be rich. You can get $1 million. The person who gets the most no's, the person who misses the most free throws, the most shots, that person wins the most. And I think, like, yeah, just shut up. Like, shut your mind up. It's not about you. Go to work, get better, and improve, and stay focused and stay consistent on your craft until you win.
Love that. Man, it's beautiful just to watch your journey, man. I think this podcast is probably the one that's kind of like jumping all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place.
But I think it's good because there's so much wisdom in what you shared today. And if you want to know more about, like, David's background, his story, that's for the first and second podcast. This is more like, I just want to catch up with my guy.
Yeah.
And just kind of ask some questions that, you know, people have asked me that I want your opinion on. How can people find you?
Instagram, David E. Carpenter. Love to connect. You know, if you message me, I'll send a message back. You know, obviously probably not right away, but I will connect with you. I'm not a douche. Like, I really love people genuinely. And I really genuinely hope that this helps certain people. And it's not going to help everybody because you don't deal with the same problems that I had to overcome and face. But the ones that it really helps, like, you know, hey, your life is going to be blessed if you put the alcohol down, the weed, the drugs, focus on you. You know, those people, if they only want to be around you for those reasons and you feel like used or like you feel empty or lost, you know, it's time to get recentered on things that matter, like your family, God, your purpose, and using your gifts and abilities to do something to help the world.
Absolutely. So with the Growth House community, we want to also provide you value. Right now, anyone watching, what would you say you're looking for? What could you have help with? Could be anything.
I would say, you know, we're always looking for new leaders and people that want to grow an insurance business. So if you haven't found something that you personally really are like, hey, this is it for me, I'm like looking right now, maybe I'm good at communication, I really love people, and you want to scale an insurance business and have the characteristics that I was just listed, and you want to get more information, let me know, and I can help you out get more information and figure out if that's the right fit or not.
Love it. Jesse Ray, Growth House Podcast.
Let's go,
David
baby.
Carpenter. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Thanks for having me.